All right. Listener. Today it's a juicy one. It's your boy Mutsa Crystal Makufa. But today, boys, it's a great day. Great day. Great fucking been waiting for this. But let me not get ahead of myself. Let me say hi to the brothers first, and then let's get into the pie. Let's get into the meat. Let's get into everything. But let me start with the boy Sangi, and then over to the boy Bangoro, and we'll get into the episode today. So over to you, Mr. Sampson.
Hello, dear listener. Welcome to the Forest Brothers podcast. Thanks for joining us today. I'm here with my two brothers. My brothers are beaming today. Man, I'm excited. Can't wait to get started. Ngori, take it away, man.
Well, thank you for the wonderful platform, here, Mr. Sampson. I'd like to say hello to all our beautiful listeners out there. This is an emergency podcast. It wasn't on schedule, but given the current circumstances that are currently happening in the world of football, we decided that, listener, we're going to bless you with an extra episode today. So be sure to tune in. It's going to be a showstopper.
A showstopper indeed. So, listener, in case you've been living under a rock and you don't know what's happening in the world of football today, Mr. Erik Ten Bald Hag has been sacked, has been fired, has been chucked out of Old Trafford like his trash, garbage, whatever the case may be. He's gone. And you know how much we feel about the brother Ten Hag. I've been waiting for this man to get fired since last year, since 2 years ago. Since the whole Ronaldo debacle, I've just hated the man. I hate him so much. I'm just so happy he's gone. I feel like Sancho today. I feel like Diallo today. I feel like every man today, every black man today should be proud to see this bold man walk out the door. And yeah, we're going to talk about why he should have gone earlier today. And we've got so many stats, so many things to say about this man. And yeah, listeners, so hang in with us. But let me hand it over to the boy, Mr. Mangoro. As you can see, he is absolutely salivating at the prospect and what he's about to do. It's about to be carnage. It's about to be murderous. It's about to be horror. So over to you, Mr. Mangoro. Tell the listener why exactly Bold Hag was the worst Manchester United manager in history and why he should have been sacked 2 years ago. When even before he started, should have been sacked. So over to you, Mr. Mangoro.
Mr. Muta, I'm just going to give the viewers and the listeners a timeline that is very clear. I will not be doing that. I'll let you do all of those other things. But listener, I think for this segment, you're going to have to grab a drink or grab whatever you need. It's going to be a lesson. It's going to be a math lesson, honestly. And the thing that makes me quite sad, I think this is my retaliation against Erik Ten Hag, or should we call him Seven Hag, is that it happens right before he plays Chelsea. Very disappointed in him. And like what irks me the most is that they gave them new jacuzzis this year. They finally got the new jacuzzis. So honestly, listener, I'm very sad. I'm very sad. But as part of my sadness and the dark place that I went into this morning, I wanted to give you a timeline of events that are very interesting that I came up with this morning that I actually learned. And be sure to tune in. Most of them actually either involve the number seven or a multiple of seven. So let's just dive in, listener. So, firstly, as I woke up this morning at 7 a.m., funny enough, on October 28th, I woke up to the news of Erik Ten Hag sacking as Manchester United. The question you may ask yourself is, who is Erik Ten Hag? Erik Ten Hag was born on February 2nd, what year? 1917. And what's interesting about this guy is that on April 21st, funny enough, 2022, he was appointed the manager of Manchester United. Prior to that, in 2021, Manchester United signed Jadon Sancho from Borussia Dortmund for £73 million. So a lot of sevens, but that's just the starting point. So as he steps into the role as Manchester United manager, on the 7th of August 2022, he lost his first game 2-1 to Brighton. And we all remember that one. But let's not talk about that one, but let's just talk about the opening season highlights. Well, we don't do also just give him some credit. He did win the EFL Cup in his first season. He likes to talk about those trophies. But what's interesting about that is that Manchester United suffered a seven 0 defeat to Liverpool at Anfield after winning that cup. So interesting stuff. But I also just want to give you some other stats about that first season. They finished seventh in the Premier League. They just going back to that particular season, he got rid of who? Cristiano Ronaldo, who is, by the way, CR7. And it's just so interesting that there's just so much that happens. And I think things that United either happen in sevens or a multiple of seven, or it has to involve seven. Because that same summer, they signed Casemiro from Real Madrid for around £71 million. And when you look at this current season, they're sitting where? 14th in the league. 14th is a multiple of seven, and 21st in the UEFA Europa League. And just to take it back, listener, I think it's only fair that we talk briefly about summer of 2024. And in the summer, he was given a new contract with no wage increase, which I found to be very interesting, but with an alleged 17 million release clause. After that, he rewarded the club by losing 7-6 to Manchester City in the Community Shield after a 1-1 draw. And interestingly enough, City are his arch rivals this season. City and Liverpool are the biggest rivals of Manchester United, and they both have 7 wins this season, and they sit first and second in the Premier League. And just that period around the summer, also, I do want to mention that 7 managers were reportedly interviewed for the Manchester United job. And then what I think this one is probably one of the best. This is probably the best one that exists out there. Manchester United loaned out Jadon Sancho to Chelsea, of course Chelsea, with an obligation to buy for around what? £21 million. And it just doesn't stop, listeners. It just doesn't stop. And this is the second part. The third part is very, very interesting. About 14 days ago, the Forest Brothers podcast that you are on listening to today spoke about this 14 days ago regarding this. And interestingly enough, on the 27th of October 2024, the turning point in his downfall started coming. And a player by the name of Crescencio Somerville, who also happens to wear the number 7 in the 74th minute, scored the opening goal against Manchester United. And to calm it all off and close it all off, on October 28th, keep in mind, 2024, Erik Ten Hag or Erik Seven Hag, as I like to call him, was relieved of his duties as Manchester United manager exactly 112 days after his new contract was signed. 112, a multiple of 7. And what's interesting about all of that is that the decision was made by how many people? You guessed it right, listener. 7 people, including Omar Barada, Sir Jim Radcliffe, Jason Wilcox, Avram Grazer, Joe Glazer, Sir Dave Brailsford, and Dan Ashworth. And it's very interesting. Erik Ten Hag in the Premier League recorded 14 draws during his tenure. Manchester United currently this season have 27. I mean 27 yellow cards. And his first signing as Manchester United manager for Erik Seven Hag was Lisandro Martinez, and he leads the team this season with 518 tackles, which also happens to be a multiple of 7. And what's interesting about all of that, he exits United with a record of 28 losses, which also is a multiple 7. And I thought I was done there. I thought I was done during this research, but it just kept on coming, listener. And what's even more intriguing is post-sacking, Manchester United have given the job to Ruud van Nistelrooy. What number did Ruud van Nistelrooy wear at Manchester United? Number 7. So I don't even know at this point. I don't even know. I thought I was done, but listener, I just wanted to give you a bonus. Just a bonus. There are 7 managers on the shortlist to replace Ten Hag, with Ruben Amorim leading the race at 7-2 odds. So, Mr. Mutsa, I've given the listeners what they've asked for. Now, you can take it away at this point. I think I've said my piece.
Hey man, that was mad. That was mad. Rule of 7. Erik Seven Hag. Listen, also you can fact check us. This is all factual information. No, there's no BS here. There's no made up stuff here. This is all information that is out there. This is how terrible that brother Seven Hug was. 7 ways to be bald, that brother. 7 ways. But it's terrible, man. It's terrible. But let me give the floor to the brother, Mr. Sangi. Like, what were your thoughts this morning when you saw the news about our brother Bald Hag, man? Were you expecting this today, 9 a.m. in the morning? Were you expecting it to be later on, maybe during the international break? Or is this, I'll say for me personally, listener, I'm actually very, very disappointed. You're going to hear this in another episode as I speak on this too. I was very, very disappointed that this is the time when the brother Bald Hag was sacked because, man, how much I would have loved for this brother to go to Chelsea. In the stands, there's Jadon Sancho watching on. Palmer scores 5 goals. Jackson scores a couple. Chelsea killed Man United, and that is the game that kills him. Jadon Sancho's there in the seats because he can't play obviously since he's on loan. But man, there were so many other games that Bald Hag should have gone, man. Like so many other games, but it just sucks that it came down to Michael Oliver was the last nail in the coffin. He's the man that had the boy fired. It wasn't a penalty as we talked about as we're going to talk about in the episode. But of course, hey, he's gone. He's gone. He's gone. He's gone. I'll take whatever I can get at this point. But anyway, Samson, what were your thoughts when you saw the sacking today, man? How are you feeling about the boy, Erik Bald Hag?
Before I start, I was just gonna say, I was listening to Mongoro, and he mentioned Crescencio. If some of those goal, I was like 74th minute. Then I remembered the equalizer came not too long after that, right? And I went and I looked it up while he was talking. I was like, oh yeah, it just had to be. It just had to be that number. The equalizer by Casemiro came exactly 7 minutes later. This guy, he's beefing with the number 7. I can't believe it. It's incredible.
What number does Casemiro wear?
What number is it?
Is it not 14?
Oh my God, 14. This is mad. This is absolutely mad. I can't believe it. Like he's clearly at war with the number 7. What do you like? And it's all started with Cristiano Ronaldo when he came. Like incredible in preseason, number 7. Anyways, we've been calling it for weeks. I thought he should have been gone last year. Like we've all said, that should have been the perfect time. But the fact that it's happening now, man, just like the rest of you, I'm disappointed, man. We were gonna face you. I mean, obviously, I didn't think he would last that long, but still, like, I was hoping. Like December was when we played them. I was like, man, December's just right around the corner, man. Like, let the man celebrate Christmas. How you gonna sack a man before Christmas? Like, let him celebrate a little bit. Let him be happy. Then let him go in January. January is always full of bad news, anyways. Everyone's broke. No one's happy about it. Like, come on. Let's just wait until the new year. But hey, man, it is what it is. And I think what really was the final nail for him, why he went ultimately. And I do speak about this in the pod we did previously. It's just the way they lost to West Ham. Dear listener, West Ham has been awful this year. Like, in the Premier League managers sack race, Ten Hag has always been number 1, but number 2 is Julian Lopetegui, the West Ham manager, because they have been absolute shit. Just every game, awful. Even this game against United, West Ham United were actively trying to lose the game the first half. United could have been up 4 goals if they wanted to, but that's just who Ten Hag is. You can want to save him. You can throw him a bone and he's going to say, no, I want war. I do not want peace. I want violence. Give me more violence. And the universe responded. So yeah, I have nothing else to say. Just, farewell, Ten Hag. Enjoyed that severance check. go back to Holland, relax on your couch. You're set for life, my guy. You know, you did it big. You did it big in the Prem. You know, we'll always remember you. Thank you for your service, man.
Just to also pile on this rule of seven, let's talk about Ten Hag's seven signings. We have Lisandro Martinez, Casemiro, Anthony, Onana, Hoyland, Mount, and Delict. And United, in his time in these 2.5 years, has spent £650 million, including these seven brothers. So if we actually even look at his signings, I know, a lot of fans will say, oh, the club itself was just bad news and there's not much he could do. He needed more time, what this and this and that. But Ten Hag has made a lot of incredibly crazy decisions. And none of his signings, arguably Anthony is the worst signing in Premier League history. That brother was 95 million. That's how much he was bought for. And it's like, what? We also how terrible that brother is. And Mount has barely played any games. He bought them from Chelsea for £64 million. Chelsea made incredible business on that sell, by the way. So congrats to you guys. Lisandro Martinez was 57 million. Casemiro was 71 million. Who buys Casemiro for £71 million? Come on. Man is past his prime. He's done. That's why he goes to retire. You bought him for 71 million? Like, come on, man. Like, I can't imagine. I can't. I was just so disappointed in him, man. And of course, like the 7-0 loss they had with Liverpool. They've lost to Brentford early on. Brighton, they just be losing and shit. Like, I don't know, man. I really don't know. And I'm just trying to think about the next coach who's gonna come in here and hopefully save this club. I know that Ruud van Nistelrooy is gonna be the interim coach. All the best to that brother. Really, really and truly, all the best to him. Especially going to Chelsea. Tough game. Maybe he's just gonna try low block. Like, hey, let's just minimize. Let's just not leave Chelsea with a loss, a draw at the most. Let's start on a good note, because if they get discombobulated by Chelsea, hey man, that's more or less curtains for the boy Ruud van Nistelrooy, man. That's more or less curtains. And when I look at this list, I would say Thomas Frank, in terms of potential managers, Thomas Frank, I feel like is the right person to take over Man United, because we've seen what he's done with Brentford. He's very savvy in the transfer market. Probably going to bring in some good players, good tactics. He's a person who I feel like makes good changes during games. Brentford, they've been flying this year. We saw how they did last year. And he's already been able to handle Man United a lot. Brentford have killed Manchester United in almost every meeting they've had in the last year or two. So I would actually say give Thomas Frank a chance. I think he could cook. But at the end of the day, man, I just feel like the negativity around Man United will be so much for him that he'll probably go bald in like another year. Like all his hair gone. But Mangoro, I know you might have had more stats under your sleeve. I know you have them. So let's go back to those stats. Give us more. Give us just so that the listener can really understand why this man should never coach again. I think take your 17 million and just coast through life, man. Just it's fine. The living standards in the Netherlands are not as deep. Like get your little cottage house, your 17 mil, raise a few sheep, raise a few cow, watch TV here and there. Just he'll even grow his hair back, I'm sure. Anyway, Mangoro, take it forward for the O's.
Not a problem, certainly. I would like to just put out a quick clarification so that people don't say we're giving wrong stats. When we spoke about Casemiro's number at Real Madrid, he wore number 14. Just to put it out there. But when we look at the seven signings you highlighted there, Mota, how many of them have been a success? I would probably argue probably only Lisandro out of those seven. And what is one divided by seven? It's 14%. So that success rate is truly, truly not great. So honestly, Manchester United and this whole situation has just been something we've spoken about time and time again. Like, there's no need to even us continue. But now let's path a journey. I mean, let's put together a journey forward on where the club goes from here, because we can't be dropping any more stats. But honestly, in my opinion, I think I saw, I don't know what's in the same list. If they have Graham Potter as part of the coaches that are being linked, I think they shouldn't go down that route. We've had this discussion before. It's going to be another disaster, and we're going to come up with more stats. So if they want to do that, thank you. We'll pull the numbers, we'll share them with our viewers out there. And they shouldn't appoint any ex players. In the last how many 5 years, they've had two ex players, either in an interim charge or in charge. Right now it's Rude. It used to be Ole. Like, it shouldn't happen. And I just certainly hope they do not give Ruud van Nistelrooy 7 games. That would be not okay, because then it'd just be like everything is just it happens in sevens. Then Manchester United. How many Premier Leagues do they have? Is it 14? I don't know. So it's just very interesting the things that happen at that club. But on a serious note, I think we've mentioned this extensively in the podcast, and as I told you, I do trust in Sir Jim Ratcliffe. He was going to make the right decision. He finally woke up and smelled the coffee and decided that this just wasn't cutting it. And I think the conversation that they had was mainly about. I think the one they had the other Tuesday was mainly about just what options do we have on removing this guy, because I think they already made the decision. It was just mainly about what who can we find in the market that we can give the job to, because I think possibly the season is still salvageable. I don't think top four is possible, because it's just not they just can't, like, there's no way. And you'll see the players will have a spring in their step, which will be very interesting, given that and players will start playing properly now. And it'll just be like, oh, interesting. What was happening here? Was it the players? Was it the manager? Now the players know how to score goals. Rashford will probably go on his streak of scoring probably like 21 goals. Who knows? But it's just so interesting what's happening at that club. And in all honesty, I did also mention the trust that I do have in Omar Berrada and Sadef Brailsford. I don't know, every time the camera would pan to Sadef Brailsford there, either it was Aston Villa or any of the home games, you could tell that this guy wants to get rid of this guy as soon as possible. He never looked happy. So I think this morning maybe he had like a coffee or two just to celebrate that. Maybe something strong. I don't think he had coffee this morning. He was having something much stronger. Maybe what is that beverage? Is it called Seven Ships?
I should say this.
But on a serious note, like, just going back to Eric Ten Hag, I think I just also did post sacking what options he has. He has many multiple options, but I found 7 options. But I'll just give him one. I would like to mention that the Ajax job is currently, let's say, available, given that Francisco Farioli, the current manager, former Nice manager, who also worked under Sir Jim Ratcliffe, is an interim charge of Ajax, and they're not doing that great. So he can always go back there and take over there and build Ajax back up, because it seems he has an affinity for for Ajax players. I don't know how many Ajax or Dutch related players are in the Manchester United current squad, or that he's tried to coach. Probably 7, but the listener can check that for me. But honestly, I would say that I think it's time that he just goes back to, I think that's his level, the Eredivisie, the 7th best league in the world. I think he should just stay there in the Eredivisie. That's where he needs to be. And this experience that he's had has opened his eyes to what's available in the world. And he just needs to know that there's levels to this coaching thing, and he just needs to stay there, in all honesty, because if he keeps on thinking that coming back to these top 5 leagues, we've seen what's happened. This is probably going to hurt his stock. And right now it's at an all-time low. So maybe he can go back to Ajax, rebuild his career, and then come back. No, not come back. Stay in Ajax. Be the Sir Alex of Ajax and stay there for maybe 27 years. Like, that's what he needs to do, in all honesty. But yeah, Samson, like, I don't know, do you share the same sentiments, or you think he can still do something in Europe?
I think when you suffer the way this man has suffered, when you go through some huge disappointments like this, the only thing you can do is go back to basics, man. Go back to what you know. Go home, Go home, go heal, go recover, and just, fall back in love with the game because you can tell the man was fighting with the game of football, man. He was fighting with it. He was not at peace. Every week he's trying to remind us, hey man, I won two trophies. Every week he's talking about these two trophies. Every week he's talking about, man, they didn't give the offside, or man, they didn't do this. It's like, come on, man, just stop fighting, bro. Life isn't about this constant fight, this constant beefing with everyone around you. Like, that's not normal. Clearly he was uncomfortable. When you walk into a new job and you immediately fall out with the most popular person there, like, come on. Like, that should tell you something. And you keep falling out with people every year. You guys start asking the question, like, are they the problem or am I the problem? And right now, it's clear that he's been the problem. So just go home, Ten Hag. Go home, recover, relax. And yeah, I think like Mangor said, self-actualization, finding yourself is one of the most important things in this world. Maybe he'll go back to the Netherlands and he'll realize, hey man, I'm not that good of a coach actually. The haters have been right this whole time. I'm actually not a good coach. I should do something else with my life. It's not too late, man. It's not too late. He's not 50 yet, right? He can still do some stuff, He can go be a teacher somewhere or farm, like you said, be a farmer, raise some 14 million is a lot of money. You can, or 17 million, you can do a lot with that. You don't have to coach. Is all I would say. I know you're saying Ajax is a good, even with that, I'm saying don't rush into a burning house. You just left one. You left one in rubble. You're running into a burning one. Come on. Let's just take a minute, relax, assess where we're at, and try to go back to basics, simple stuff, just coach two people, coach, coach the kids that play in that nearby park. Start with them, coach them, and then think about the team later. Just
Samson,
take your time.
real quick, what about a seven-a-side team? Would that do?
Exactly. Coach a seven aside. There you go, man. These are real solutions, man. That's what used to get back to cage football. Seven aside. And it's very popular there in the Netherlands, actually. You should get into it. But yeah, that's all the advice I got for him, man.
Nah, man, that's crazy. But you know what? Looking forward for Man United, like the really good thing about this is it has happened game week 9. It's so early in the season. That's a good thing. It's so early in the season. Like it's not. Man United can actually save themselves. It's not that deep. Um, Best possible decision right now. This is the best time to do it because yeah, as we said, like they're about to get into game week 10 now. Still another 28 games to go. 26, 28 games to go. So 28, another no, another multiple of 7, by the way. Hey man, hey. So Man United, I do think that it's salvageable, as Mangoro was saying. It's definitely salvageable because right now they were in the relegation race because I think they're only 5 points away from the bottom 3 or something like that. So you know what, like it's okay, Man United fans. I hope that you can see the light and then the tunnel now. I hope you can see you have a new fresh energy about you as the week goes on. It's a Tuesday. Hopefully this carries you on to Saturday. Hopefully you survive Chelsea, and then from then on, hey, you know what? Let's yeah, man. All we can do is hope for the best for you guys, and hopefully your dark days are behind you because hey, you also a lot of dark days with this bold brother, man. He really put you out through it. But yeah, let me hand it over to the boy Mangoro, and then we'll be closing out with this Ten Hag special. Over to you, Mangoro.
I would like to add on to some of the points you just raised them with a bit more stats. Like, I kid you not, I'm not making up any of these stats, listener. Like, this is what is literally out there. You can check it for yourself. But, as Muta mentioned, Manchester United are, to give you the actual number, they're 7 points away from the relegation zone. 7. Ipswich on 4, Manchester United on 11. You can check that. And secondly, I would also like to mention that from now, when they appoint the new manager, new manager is going to have 7 months of the season left from November to May. They will have 7 months to get a tune out of these players. But yeah, that's what I wanted to add, Muta. Back to you.
I appreciate it, Magoro. Appreciate it. But you know what, listener? We don't want to drag this on. I think this was enough. We just wanted to come on here, celebrate the sacking that we've all been begging for. It has finally happened, and now things can go back to peace. It's kind of sad because let me tell you something. The hate watch for Man United games has been generational. Generational. Like I've never seen anything like it. Like I've never hate watched a team so much in my life that I did these last few seasons with Ten Hag, man. Like it was absolutely a generational run. It sucks that it's now over, but I guess on to bigger and better things. Now I can hate watch Arsenal again. Good times are back. It's cool. So Ten Hag, thank you so much for all the hate watch worthy games you gave us, man. You really, man, the amount of shit I put my friends through, my Man United friends, my God, man. Some of the most depressing days they've had are because of me. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Ten Hag. Let me end it on that note. To be appreciative of what you've given us, football fans. Thank you so much for just being the worst person on earth and giving us something to watch. That was truly extraordinary. But over to you, Sanyi, to close us out in Mangora, and then we'll be out of here. So over to you, Sanyi.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, the new manager, whoever he is, has 7 matches before they play the Arsenal in December. So looking forward to that. They play Leicester at home on Wednesday. So I think the United fans, if you can buy a ticket to that game, go to that game, fill up that stadium, let him know how much you really did not like him. Fill it up, be as loud as possible. Those players are going to play out of their skin. There's going to be like a 5-0 or maybe even a 7-0. I don't know. They might really show up. And yeah, thank you for the memories, Tanak. I will forever remember that 7-0 day. I went to a Man United bar and I watched the whole thing at a Man United bar. It was incredible. It was one of the best hate watches I've ever had, and I wasn't even planning on it. It just happened. United were riding this incredible high, having just won the League Cup. Every United fan was talking nonsense, and that 7-0 happened. So thank you. Appreciate you. And yeah, hopefully we will never see you coach again. Peace out.
Nana Sangi, we want to see him. We want more stats. And as a numbers guy, I always bring numbers. There's a new number I just came up with, and you can always check these numbers, listener, and let us know in the comments. But the capacity crowd at Old Trafford, just as Samson was talking there about the game at Leicester, is around 70,000. So you can maybe buy those 70,000 tickets and fill it up and celebrate in honor. And I'll also be celebrating. And guess what beverage I'll be celebrating with? A 7 Up. I'll be getting a 7 Up. Manchester United, maybe that'll be a new front of shirt sponsor in the coming seasons. But yeah, maybe speak to them. They'll definitely do something there.
I appreciate it, boys. The rule of sevens, Bold Dog sevens. And with that, listener, thank you so much. Hopefully, you've enjoyed this, Man United fans. Hopefully, this was a jubilant and therapeutic episode for you. And yeah, and we're dropping a lot of episodes this week, so tune in for those. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Man United fans, you can bleed in our comments. We'll be right there with you. So whatever you want to do, don't worry, man. We got y'all. We got y'all for real. And yeah, with that, listener, thank you so much, and we will catch you on the next one. Peace out.